Kerry, we got Warriors and your Lakers. The roles have been reversed. The Dubs in last place in the Pacific, the Lakers in first. Anthony Davis sat this one out with a sore shoulder. No problem. It took LeBron 7 seconds to get his first assist off the opening tip to JaVale McGee. McGee had 18 and 17 boards. Quarter two. James gets the handoff, gets bumped by Willie Cauley-Stein and drains it. Lakers up 18 after the foul shot. Still trying to get my head around the fact the Warriors being doormats after being so good all these years. And then there's the LeBron snap pass in stride to Kyle Kuzma, who had 22. Later, James misses, loose ball. McGee finds it and then finds LBJ cutting towards the basket. In just 26 minutes, he had 23 points, 12 assists, 6 boards. The Lakers romp. Now, as we showed you there, Anthony Davis sat out last night with a sore shoulder. So he and LeBron have played a total of 10 games together. It looks like they've played 10 seasons together. It's not supposed to be this easy. This is not fantasy hoops where you just take the stats of one guy and add them to another. These are human beings, different games, different mindsets. And yes, this chemical mixture of an ascending superstar and a living legend has gone better than anyone could have imagined. As Brian Windhorst tells us, the framework for this relationship was formed on a movie set, and the result has been pure Hollywood.
When we talk about Anthony Davis, he's one of the top 5 players on the planet. I think that him and LeBron James are the best duo in basketball.
LeBron with a vicious right hand. To lob and a dunk. AD with the finish.
Their first weeks as Lakers together, the LeBron-AD connection has gone better than anyone could have imagined.
James lobs it up, and Davis throws it down.
LeBron has never hooked up with a new star teammate like this in his career.
What a pass by James, and the slam by Davis.
Not with Dwayne Wade.
Here comes James, lobs to Wade, back to James. What a play from Wade to James.
Not with Chris Bosh.
James bounce pass Bosh to the rim. What a play by LeBron.
Not with Kevin Love.
No look inside Devon. What a sweet pass.
Not even close with Kyrie Irving.
Nice finish, Irving and James with a beautiful connection.
In just their first 9 games together, LeBron assisted on 26 Davis baskets. 26, compared to half as many, 13, with peanut butter and jelly partner Wade.
Alley-oop to Wade, and he finishes! Oh, perfect pass!
Don't even ask about Irving. It was only 9.
Here comes LeBron. Nice pass on the bounce. Oh, with a spectacular move.
The beginning of this star pairing has gone so much smoother.
James on the lob, and Davis on the throwdown.
How has it happened? When they were on the set of Space Jam 2 over the summer, Davis and LeBron had some serious conversations. LeBron wanted Davis to be aggressive. He has been.
Davis, that'll count to end the half.
Davis wanted LeBron to rededicate himself to defense. He has been.
That's LeBron James.
They even discussed what to put on social media about each other. So far, so good there, too. It helps this is a big 2 instead of a big 3. That's fewer people to keep happy. It helps they have the same agent. It helps that LeBron is older now, soon to be 35. Like with the teammates in Miami and Cleveland, ending on the podium with the trophy is really all that matters, way more than the start. There's a long way before James and Davis get there.
I get teary-eyed watching that wonderful, that was excellent work, Pulitzer Prize winning work.
You mean between LeBron and AD?
Yes, not you. Brian Windhorst joining us now on Coast to Coast. Brian, talk to me seriously about this. You've talked about the other relationships LeBron has had in being paired with other superstars, but there's something about this mix. Why is it working so well?
Let's remember, when they started in Miami, that big 3 went 9-8 at the start. Remember Bumpgate and all that stuff? They started in Cleveland. They started 19-20. And they got to mid-season, they were under 500. So I had my expectations somewhat tempered here, and they've blown it out of the water. And I really think that part of it is LeBron is almost 35 now, and he really is focused on handing it over to Anthony. He wants AD to be the focal point. He's like, listen, I want to take a back seat. And I've heard LeBron say that before. I remember there was one year when Kyrie started injured in Cleveland, coming back from a knee injury, and he said that Kevin Love's got to be the focal point of this offense. And Kevin almost laughed when LeBron said it because he knew he didn't mean it. LeBron really means it now. And Davis is accepting it. And I think what's most important, let's not forget, this season has to go well because Anthony Davis is still a free agent. I know that it's 99.9% that he's going to resign.
Yeah.
But LeBron wants to make sure Anthony Davis is comfortable, and that scenario has led them to start so well.
And you never know. There's always a chance. Things do happen. I also believe, everyone keeps talking about how old LeBron is. He looks amazing. Like, I know that we're saying he's 35, but he rested and well. I mean, seriously. Outside of that, let's talk about Paul George. He's expected to make his Clippers debut tonight in New Orleans. We talked about this earlier. What are you hearing about how Doc Rivers and the coaching staff plan to integrate Paul George into this lineup?
You know, Kerry, this is going to take some time. First off, I would expect Kawhi Leonard not to play tonight. He hasn't played in a back-to-back in almost 3 years. So that would be unusual.
If Kawhi plays, is what you're saying.
Right. I mean, I don't know if he's going to play with Kawhi tonight. I think the first time they play together might not be till Saturday. The other thing is Doc Rivers has said he hasn't even worked Paul George with the starters in practice, like almost at all, because he's wanted to prepare for the games. So Paul George just doesn't have reps with this frontline Clippers team. So I expect him to be good because he's got a lot of experience coming back from injuries. It's sad to say, but he's done this before. But I don't think we're going to get the premium Clippers. But I will say this, Kerry, they struggled last night in their loss. They're not scoring enough. Mm-hmm. That team's, they're great defensively. They're not great offensively. Getting Paul George back is a huge boost for their offense, but it could take some time for them to get comfortable.
You know, I think we should just manage our expectations, shouldn't we? All around with everyone. I appreciate you joining us here. That was a great piece, though, seriously.
I'm sure you liked it.
I love his work. Tomorrow night, Brian Windhorst, our ESPN doubleheader tips off with Ja Morant leading Memphis against Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz at 8 Eastern. That's going to be great. Followed by Kemba Walker and the Celtics going for...
Wiseman, the projected #1 pick in the 2020 NBA draft, has been declared ineligible, will not suit up in the immediate future for the Tigers. The announcement just coming out from the school. The NCAA had said that Wiseman was ineligible after receiving improper benefits. Penny Hardaway decided to play him while Memphis and the NCAA battled over his eligibility. The school is applying to have Wiseman reinstated. The guy is averaging nearly 20 points and 11 rebounds a game in his freshman year. Made a splash in his debut with 28 points and 11 rebounds just 9 days ago. Last Friday, he was ruled likely ineligible by the NCAA. Still played that night after getting a temporary restraining order. He played in Memphis's loss to Oregon on Tuesday as well, and then today dropped his lawsuit against the NCAA. Kerry?
All right, David, thank you for all that and the timeline. Joined now by our college basketball analyst, Jay Billis. Jay, you've spoken with Wiseman's attorney since the decision was made. How did we arrive at this point today?
Well, there have been discussions between Memphis and the NCAA about Wiseman's status, but the NCAA told Wiseman's attorneys, and I assume told Memphis, that it would not reach a resolution of Wiseman's status while a lawsuit was pending. So Wiseman decided to withdraw the lawsuit, and there could be a couple of reasons for that. One, it could be that the lawsuit was withdrawn just so that they could begin the process of doing this, and the NCAA could very well have threatened that they would open up a separate infractions case on Memphis for playing an ineligible player. It could also be that the two parties, Memphis and the NCAA, had reached a wink and a nod agreement as to how this would shake out if they were to withdraw the lawsuit, declare him ineligible, and then seek reinstatement. Because that way the NCAA could say, we told you he was ineligible. Now you agree, so now we can work on the process. So it's a lot of saber rattling. But the ball is back now in the NCAA's court, where they get to do it essentially their way, whether they have a wink and a nod agreement as to how it's going to work out ultimately or not.
All right, let's stay with that, the wink and nod agreement, perhaps, because the next question I was going to ask you was, what does this mean for his future as well as for Memphis's season?
Well, it depends on when he can play. He will be able to play again. $11,500 from a booster would normally be, according to the matrix that the NCAA uses, a third of the season or 9 games. Maybe it'll be short of that. Maybe it'll be the whole 9. I don't know where that's going to shake out. Ultimately, what it means for James Wiseman after this year, when he goes into the NBA draft, is 0. The NBA doesn't care about any of this stuff, so that's not going to affect his draft status or his future at all. It's just an issue for this season. And it's also, frankly, an issue for Memphis. The biggest issue here has not been, whether Penny Hardaway would be described as a booster under the rules or the amount of money, all that stuff. That's not been the biggest issue. The biggest issue was Memphis deciding to play Wiseman when the NCAA said he was ineligible, because that was setting Memphis up for future penalties beyond this season. And so that was really what was unusual about this, was that Memphis was playing a player that the NCAA told them was ineligible, and that was highly unusual.
All right, so Memphis says James Wiseman is ineligible. We've been told by Jay Billis that they could not reach a resolution while that lawsuit is in effect. That lawsuit has been withdrawn by James Wiseman. We will have much more on this developing story and breaking news later on Coast to Coast. Jay Billis, thank you so much for joining us.
Let's get to the NBA. Clippers and Rockets. There was a